Hey guys, it's Mike. Today we're going to have a conversation about precious metals, specifically my favorite metal, silver, why I think it's a good buy, and some articles, well, one specific article that I read talking about JP Morgan possibly trying to corner the silver market. And we're going to speculate on why that might be. We're going to go over some of that article, and then I'm going to go through some of the stuff that I found and why I think this could be true. All right, so we're gonna talk about silver. I don't know if you guys ever seen this. Is a 1 ounce coin. Look how beautiful that is. It's awesome. It's gorgeous. It's heavy. They come in different, different sizes. You got bigger bars like that. If you're not a stacker, hopefully this gets you into stacking. If you are a stacker, you keep on stacking, and this is gonna pay off for us in the long run, guys. So the first thing we're going to do, as usual, I'm going to drop the ugly mug off the screen so y'all don't have to look at me. And I'm going to put up some information. Here's the first one. This is the article that I found on news.core.com. This is about JP Morgan cornering the silver market. The writer basically is going to go over some information. And I'm going to read some of the stuff, like some of the bullet points that are up here. So why is JP Morgan accumulating the biggest stockpile of physical silver in history? Legendary silver analyst Ted Butler believes JP Morgan are in a position to corner the silver market. JP Morgan may be holding as much as 350 million ounces of physical silver. 350 million, guys. That is huge. I would love to get at least 10% of that, maybe 1%. That'd be great. JP Morgan realizes the value of owning physical silver bullion today. Silver at $16 today, set to soar to over 50 again. What this guy means by again is that through the decades, silver seems to make these jumps. And if you look at it, it seems like it's almost every 10 years that it'll go from whatever specific value it's sitting at, which back in the 70s like $6 to 50. Then back in the 80s, it was still around the same amount to 50. Then you had in the 2000s, again to 50. In 2008, to 50. Now we're in 2017. We're sitting at about a $16, give or take, depending on what time of year you purchase it, because there are fluctuations. And he's thinking it's going to go back to $50 again. Now, what we're going to look at is some of his information, some of the stuff that he found, okay? Here is JP Morgan Chase Depository Silver Stocks. And this is COMEX Silver Deliveries, like what they delivered to JP Morgan. We're going to look at April deliveries, which are right here. Hopefully you guys can see that really well. If not, I'm going to read it to you guys anyways. So these are recent deliveries to the JP Morgan Depository, which April 7th was 1,110,000, April 8th 1,280,000, April 9th 893,000, April 10th 120, April 14th 173,000, and again on April 15th 1,191,000. April 16th, 1,183,000. This is totaling 8.3 million ounces in just 2 weeks. Every time there's been a crisis, guys, silver and gold tend to skyrocket. Why? Because they are extremely good stores of value. You can always maintain buying power when you purchase gold or silver. You got to think of them like time machines, where you put $20 here today, and whatever you were able to buy with that $20, you'll be able to buy 10, 20, 30, 40 years into the future. If you're a little bit on the older side, I don't know if you're about my age, in your 30s, or you're much older than me, you've seen the price change and things, and how $20 buys you less and less. In the 80s, $20 can fill up a shopping cart worth of food. The 70s, even better. In the 90s, you were able to get a decent amount of groceries. Now this is 2017. We're about to hit 2018, and with $20, you'll go into the grocery store and get yourself about 2 gallons, 2 or 3 gallons of milk, and maybe some cereal if you're lucky. I mean, it hasn't been able to protect anything from you, from the inflation rates. Now, gold and silver can. Gold and silver, 1 ounce of silver back in the 1800s bought you a good suit and a steak dinner. This was $20 back in the 1800s. That's what an ounce of silver went for. Today, an ounce of silver goes for about $1,200 to $1,300. That ounce of silver can still buy you a very nice suit and a steak dinner. I mean, I don't know anybody that couldn't go into a mall and for $1,200 walk out with a really nice suit. Shit, for $1,200 you can walk out with quite a few suits and still go have yourself a nice dinner. So what we're doing here is trying to protect stores of value and then maybe get lucky when there's financial crises that do happen all the time. These are normal events. It's just part of life. Maybe cash out of some of that silver that you buy super, super cheap and sell it at a higher price. So we're going to continue going over it. You have different things we're going to talk about. This is his conclusion, basically stating the stuff that we just talked about now. What I want to go over is some of the stuff that I looked at, which would be, let me see, the Silver Institute. Sorry, guys, give me a second. Okay, so I don't know what I did with it, so let's go here. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're just gonna so you guys can see that I do this, and I do this basically as live as possible. I don't mess around with the videos. So all right, this is silverinstitute.org. These people basically are going to give you all the information about silver. They're going to give you consumption. They're going to give you production, all this stuff. So this is one of the stuff I looked at. All right, so supply. On the supply side from 2007 to 2006. 2007, the total supply, this is what they were able to produce, was 889.8 million ounces. All right, guys. So if you look at it, they put it up here so they can see that you're talking about millions. And in 2016, they were able to do a production of 1,007,000,000.1. Okay. Now, once you look at that, you're going to move over to the demand side, all right? So you got jewelry, coin bars, silverware, industrial fabrication, all right? So you have electronics, brazing alloys, photography, all these different things. Also in the medical industries, I don't know if you guys know this, but silver and copper happen to be very, very good metals when it comes to antimicrobial properties. You can actually get on the internet and see documentaries and different videos talking about this. Silver and copper have this ability to kill germs and viruses on contact. It's something about how the molecules are arranged in these metals where they create almost a static charge, and the static charge, in essence, electrocutes the germs and kills them. So this gets used a lot in the medical industries. This also gets used a lot in technology. The computer that you're looking at or the phone that you're listening to, the stuff that I'm using right now, these microphones, the camera, the computers, tons of silver goes into it because of the electro properties. It's very conductive. It's very, very good at transferring electricity from one place to the other very, very quickly. The best for that is gold, but silver happens to be on the cheaper side. Okay. So let's get to the next side, which is physical surplus or deficits. You're going to look here. In 2007, there was a deficit of 60 million. 2008, a deficit of 167 million. This was also around the housing crisis, guys. Whenever there's a crisis, like we were just talking about, the price of silver goes up, and so does the demand. Why? Because it's the store of value side. And then we get 2 years of buffer here, where there is a surplus, 64 and 50 million. And then 11, again, we're at a negative. And then a little bit of a surplus in 12, 13, a huge negative, 137, 14, 67, 100. And then you got 2015 at 111 million. And then 2016 at 20 million. But this is physical surplus and deficits. Now you're going to go down to the net balance after it's gone into inventory build and exchange inventory build. So this is where the exchanges have held on to it, or actual miners have held on to their silver in order to create an inventory so they can continue selling and trading throughout the years. This is where it gets interesting. The deficits get huge at this point. Like what's actually flowing in the market, what's available. You have in 2007 136 million. We'll skip to 2011, you're at 56 negative. Then we'll jump to 2015, 106. And then 2016, 147.5 million. And then they'll show you what the spot prices were. So 2007 is about 13 spot price. 2012, it went to about 35. 2013, 23, and then it started coming back down. And 2006 and 2005. At the moment of this conversation, it's about 1690 something. Let me actually, let's see how we can verify that. How about that? Since we're recording this, we'll go to silver spot price. Let's see what it's at. No, but we can see it. I don't have to talk any crap about it. All right, here we go. Silver spot price in the last 24 hours is sitting at 16.15. This is a steal, guys. If you take into account all this information, you take into account what JP Morgan is doing, you take into account the fact that this has always been a store of value, you take into account what's going on with the crypto market, how the crypto market is taking shares away from stocks, it's taking money out of the system. There's going to be something's got to give. And when it does, you want to be prepared. How you prepare for this? Prepare for this by having cryptos, taking your money out of the system. Don't leave your money in the banks. You prepare for this by buying gold, definitely buying silver, super undervalued. It is a steal. We all know that, well, the most of us know, at least the ones that are silver stackers and metal stackers, know that the silver and gold markets are manipulated using ETFs, using the stocks, using the paper trade. This has been proven. This has been stated this has been proven in court. Deutsche Bank, one of the largest bank in Germany, actually came out and said it because they actually got a lawsuit and they had to pay a huge fine because of it. But yet nothing changes because of the paper markets. Right now, everybody listening to this, people not listening to this, every stacker went out today, right now, at this moment, and bought 1,000 ounces each. We wouldn't move the price because it's being controlled. Why? Maybe because the biggest bank in the U.S., one of the most powerful banks in the world, J.P. Morgan Chase, is trying to corner the market. They're able to keep everything in check because of short and long positions that they control. And then they receive the actual silver. They take possession of it. They continue to take until they create a stockpile. And then they stop messing with it. Then at this point, all they got to do is just let go of the short positions and let it go up. And then they'll make a killing. This is just information that I've seen. This is information I've been able to find. Always do your own research, guys. Don't just take my word for it. But you can't go wrong ever buying gold and silver. It has been a store of value for millennia, and it's going to continue to. So keep stacking if you're already stacking. If you haven't stacked, start stacking. Don't forget the cryptos. Keep it crypto. And if you liked what I had to say, guys, hit the like button, subscribe. If you didn't like it, dislike. And leave some comments. Let's keep this going. And thank y'all for showing up.